In the heart of West Africa, the ancient community of Oroku thrived on the principles of self-reliance and communal support. However, as ambition grew within its people, particularly in the heart of a man named Ayomi, the allure of borrowing began to cast long shadows over their prosperity. This tale explores the consequences of borrowing, illustrating how Ayomi's desperate choices not only ensnared him, but also threatened the very fabric of his community. Through the lens of Oroku's traditions and the wisdom of its elders, we delve into the cyclical nature of poverty and the lessons in the lush valleys of West Africa, where the sun kissed the earth and the rivers sang songs of life, lay the vibrant community of Oroku. The people of Oroku were known for their resilience, their rich traditions, and their unwavering belief in the strength of unity. They lived by the age-old saying, "Borrowing is the firstborn of poverty," a wisdom passed down through generations, warning against the perils of debt and the cycle it could create. Among the villagers was Ayomi, a man of great ambition and dreams that soared higher than the tallest baobab tree. He was known for his ingenuity and his desire to uplift his community. However, as the seasons changed and the rains became scarce, Oroku faced a dire drought that threatened their crops and livelihoods. The once bountiful fields turned to dust, and the laughter of children playing in the sun was replaced by the somber whispers of worry. As the drought persisted, Ayomi found himself in a predicament. His dreams of starting a new venture, a cooperative farm that could sustain the community, seemed to slip further away with each passing day. Desperation clawed at his heart, and he turned to the elders of Oroku for guidance. They advised him to seek the wisdom of the neighboring village, Ajebu, known for their prosperous trade and resources. With hope in his heart, Ayomi journeyed to Ajebu, where he met a shrewd trader named Olumaide. Olumaide was known for his wealth and his willingness to lend to those in need, but they also had a reputation for being cunning. Ayomi explained his vision for the cooperative farm and the plight of Oroku. Olumaide listened intently, his eyes glinting with opportunity. "I can lend you the resources you need," Olumaide said. "But remember, borrowing comes with a price. You must repay me with interest, and if you fail, the consequences will be dire." Ayomi, blinded by ambition and the desperation of his community, agreed to the terms. He returned to Oroku with the supplies, his heart swelling with hope. The villagers rallied around him, working tirelessly to cultivate the land. For a brief moment, it seemed as though the clouds of despair had parted, and the sun shone brightly on their efforts. However, as the days turned into weeks, the drought continued to ravage their crops. The cooperative farm struggled to yield enough produce to sustain the community, let alone repay Olumaide. Ayomi's dreams began to crumble, and the weight of his borrowed resources grew heavier on his shoulders. As the first harvest approached, Ayomi realized that they would not have enough to repay Olumaide. Panic set in, and he sought counsel from the village elders. They gathered under the ancient baobab tree, their faces etched with concern. "Borrowing is the firstborn of poverty," one elder reminded Ayomi gently. "We warned you of the dangers. Now, we must find a way to break this cycle." But Ayomi, consumed by fear, sought further help from Olumaide. He returned to Ajebu, hoping to negotiate a new deal. Olumaide, however, was unforgiving. "You owe me more than you can repay," he sneered. "You must work for me until your debt is settled." With no other options, Ayomi found himself trapped in a cycle of servitude, working tirelessly for Oroku while his community continued to suffer. The once vibrant spirit of Oroku dimmed as the villagers watched their leader become a shadow of his former self. The dreams of a cooperative farm faded into the dust of the drought, replaced by the harsh reality of debt and despair. As the seasons changed, the elders of Oroku convened once more. They understood that Ayomi's plight was not just his own. It was a reflection of their collective struggle. They decided to take action, gathering the community to discuss their options. "We must remember our traditions," one elder spoke passionately. "We have always thrived through cooperation and support. It is time to return to our roots and find strength in unity." The villagers agreed to pool their resources, sharing what little they had left. They began to cultivate the land together, planting crops that were resilient to drought. They shared knowledge, skills, and labor, fostering a sense of community that had been overshadowed by Ayomi's ambition. As the new crops began to sprout, Ayomi witnessed the power of unity and self-reliance. He realized that true prosperity did not come from borrowing, but from the strength of their bonds and the wisdom of their ancestors. With the support of his community, he found the courage to confront Oroku and negotiate a settlement for his debt. Returning to Ejebu, Ayomi stood tall before Oroku. "I will not be your servant any longer," he declared. "I have learned that borrowing only leads to poverty. I will repay my debt through the labor of my community, and we will rise together." Oroku, taken aback by Ayomi's newfound resolve, reluctantly agreed to a fair settlement. Ayomi returned to Oroku, not just as a leader, but as a man transformed by the trials he had faced. The community celebrated their resilience, and the cooperative farm began to flourish, not through borrowed resources, but through their collective effort and determination. As the years passed, Oroku thrived once more. The villagers shared stories of their struggles and triumphs, passing down the wisdom that borrowing is the firstborn of poverty. They learned to rely on one another, fostering a culture of support and self-sufficiency that would endure for generations. Welcome to our podcast, where we explore the ancient wisdom of West Africa through the tale of Ayomi and the community of Oroku. Today, we delve into the dangers of borrowing and how it can lead to a cycle of poverty. Indeed, borrowing can seem like a quick solution in times of need, but it often traps individuals and communities in a cycle of debt. Ayomi's story is a powerful reminder of this truth. In our second episode, we discuss the importance of community support. How did the villagers of Oroku come together to overcome their struggles? The strength of Oroku lay in their unity. By pooling their resources and working together, they not only broke free from the cycle of debt, but also fostered a sense of belonging and resilience. In our final episode, we reflect on the lessons learned from Ayomi's journey. What can we take away from his experience? Ayomi's journey teaches us that ambition must be tempered with wisdom. True prosperity comes from self-reliance and the support of our community, not from borrowing. We must remember our roots and the lessons of our ancestors. In the end, the tale of Ayomi and Oroku serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of self-reliance, community, and the wisdom that can be found in the traditions of our ancestors. As the sun sets over the valleys of West Africa, the people of Oroku continue to thrive, guided by the lessons of the past and the strength of their unity.